December 11th, 2022. This is the start of part 2 of the Anglia street project by Lou Buitrago and his helper, me. And where we left off with part 2, which is now published on YouTube, we got tired of waiting for the rocket rims. They were never going to come in. So a couple of weeks ago, what we did is did some research, and we came up with a American racing wheel that had the exact same dimensions as far as width and 15-inch rim, 5-bolt, 4.5, same offset, same, what's that other dimension, back space? Back space, yeah. Except that it was 20 thousandths off, and we figured for 20 thousandths we couldn't go too far wrong. Not only that, they were in stock at a number of places, including Summit, which we do most of our purchasing these days, and they were a heck of a lot cheaper than the wheels we had ordered that never showed up. So as you can see, nice looking tires in the back. Oh, yes, what else? This took place in last week. Lou manufactured a drive shaft, and we did have a little bit of a problem with it in that the yokes that are on the shaft itself are for 1310 U-joint, but they pressed in way more hard than what they normally do, which indicated that the dimensions were maybe a little bit off. So the back joint is a conversion joint, which takes the 1310 of the drive shaft and adapts it to the 1350 of the Ford 9-inch rear end. The Ford 9-inch rear end can come with basically one of 3 yokes. This is the 1350, the biggest one. It can also come in a 1330 or a 1310. And these conversion U-joints are readily available. Everybody had them in stock, and we got that from our old pals at Summit. So the drive shaft's in, the wheels are on. Our dimensions that we calculated, like I said 20 times before, come out pretty good. We got the spacing that we want. We got the outside width of the tire compared to where it's going to fall under the fenders. So we're doing pretty good. What else did we do, Lou? Anything?
No, that's it.
No, I think that's all reported.
Now we're just waiting for a body, or to get some measurements off of the body.
Yeah, we're waiting on the body. It's been ordered now 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, going on 3 weeks.
About 2 weeks. Well, a little bit of a background about Lou. Lou is from Northern California. He's been building hot rods for a long time. If you look up there, there's this 33 that he did years ago. And this is his T that he built when he moved to Texas here about 7-8 years ago, that he recently sold that off. And that was pretty good. It was a nice classic T, all done right. And built himself, just the way he's building this Anglia.
There's that 32 I built.
Oh, yep. Here's a 32 that he built this for somebody else, though, right?
Right.
Yeah, he built that 32.
Guy who owned a trucking company.
In Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, Lou is quite an accomplished builder. Machinist, welder, all that type of stuff. And a hell of a good designer. All right, so that's the end of the first of part 2. We'll see y'all later. Hey, good morning. It's December 19th, 2022. This is Lou Buitrago and the Anglia project. And, oh, look, wow, a radiator. Let's talk about the radiator. This radiator is an aluminum aftermarket exact reproduction of a 1965 Ford Mustang 289 V8. It's a triple core, and Lou and I at a car show a few years back discovered that the 65 Mustang was an ideal radiator that fit, in fact, well inside a 32 Ford grill shell. And a few years after that, I actually bought a stock copper brass one and installed it in my 32, and it's worked out quite well. So the beauty of this is that this Mustang radiator required no modification to fit inside the Anglia. And if you look down here, you'll see that it's being held on by two brackets that have been tacked on this side, but nothing else. So, given the closeness in the rear to the water pump and the water pump pulley, the electric fan will be mounted front side. And the stock Ford Mustang brackets will facilitate mounting from side to side to the radiator without having to play games with the plastic rods that go through the radiators and hold it tight. So, also, the front hose has been figured, which was convenient because it was already here, right? You had that. Yeah, so that works good. And you can see that we've also picked up a set of aftermarket aluminum fin valve covers, generic type. And this morning we measured for the bottom hose, which was a typical 1 3/4. So we've got a 13.5 inch 1 3/4 both ends hose, flex hose, ordered from good old Rock Auto. And when that comes in, that'll take care of the hose for the bottom. Also, a 14-inch electric fan has been ordered, and when that comes in, that'll be done. So, that is pretty much where we're at. Things are moving along. What's next, Lou?
Well, the body should be here probably in January. Then that's when it's really going to start getting interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a big pulse of work. And in fact, in connection with mounting the body, what is this material, Lou?
It's going to be to widen the frame out a little bit.
Yeah, and this is what size?
This is a 3-inch by 1 inch. And then they'll kind of mount it out like, go something like this.
Okay, so these will be on the two sides to extend out and allow the body to be bolted.
Yeah, the rest, the floor,
Yeah.
the rest on and stuff.
So obviously we need the body to figure out what the shape of this thing's going to end up with. And then we talked last week also about how you're going to do the floor, right?
Yeah.
So the plywood, and because of the stuff that sticks up in the air, the plywood's not going to start out in life as one sheet because of the transmission, drive shaft, hump, and bump. So it'll be two sides out to the, as far as the width of the body ends up being. And then there'll be a tunnel fabricated for the transmission and the back, the hoop, and the drive shaft, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, this area here will be opened up. Would be probably a floor going over the top. Because you figure the seat's going to be right in here. Somewhere like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is, right here is the back of the door.
Okay. Okay. So, that's it. Till the next time. Signing off. Welcome back. It's 2023, the first day, so happy New Year to you all. We're going to catch up where we left off on the last segment was the radiator had been installed. And since that, you can see that there's a catch can mounted there. Plus, there's an electric fan mounted there with brackets. So that brings the radiator pretty much up to snuff. Now, oh, look, there's an alternator mounted too. Okay, let me move around here. That's an aftermarket bracket from somebody. So, talking about the same general area, when Lou built the T, he had extra parts that he didn't use, which is probably where the upper radiator hose came from. But here's a kit that puts a Gilmer drive belt on the front end instead of a standard V-belt, with this being the alternator and the retainers to keep the belt from slipping off, And then this one is the water pump, right?
No, this is the crank pulley. Yeah, this is the crank jobber, and this is the...
Oh, this is the crank. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the crank.
That's the water
And
pump.
this is the water pump. And obviously, that's a one-to-one. So that's going to be put into use and mounted. We did have a little difficulty with the lower hose. The 13 1/4 hose that we ordered wouldn't quite fit right. And part of the problem is that this water pump flange has got a hell of a bell on it, which is really not needed. You can see there's a much smaller bell on this guy. So allowing that, one of the things we might have to do is grind this bell down a little bit, but we're waiting to see. Since this thing is a kind of an awkward angle, we finally got hopefully smart, and we ordered a 16.5-inch hose because this guy's got to kind of take a double bend to get around and not be stressed. And that is another thank you Rock Auto item, which should be here in the next couple of 2-3 days. So, what are we working on next?
Okay, now we are working on, without really knowing the body, everything, all the dimensions that we've gotten off of the one
That we made up.
that we made up. I'm kind of saying that the floor will be like this. And then right now I'm making a template out of cardboard, which will kind of go on here. Kind of fit like that. And of course this here will be cut out for the transmission here, then sit on the frame. Then the body hopefully will fit on this. And then as far as I'm thinking, the body probably will overhang the frame. So that means the body will be below the floor level a little bit. And then of course this will be screwed to, this will be made out of plywood. So the body will screw into this plus get fiberglass. Thinking, we don't know yet until
And then
get the body.
those are the pieces that we mentioned earlier that would then be
Yeah,
welded to extend the
Yeah,
wings of the
right.
frame in this area, so it'll give support and something to tie to on the outer edge along the body.
and then the rest of this here will be made in sheet metal. Because we'll have wheel tubs. And the seat, just thinking this, we're figuring the seat's going to go like right in here.
Yeah,
This area.
because if I remember right, when you open the door, the back
Yeah.
end of the door is about
Yeah,
here.
right about there.
So you got to box those up
Yeah.
and cover them too. Huh.
So actually this section of the floor will be this high. It'll come up, and then all this will come up to this height and then come straight across this way.
And then tip up along
Yeah, and then
the
the
kick up.
edge up this way, and then
So there'll be what? Some sort of a frame that.
yeah, could make a frame in there. Yeah, probably be easier to put a frame in there.
To support the two outer ends of this piece.
Yeah,
Oh, that'll also give you something to
yeah.
do the vertical on that side. Okay, so anything else?
Well, the last hurt on the body is maybe by the middle of this month we'll be getting the body in.
Good.
So
Good.
we're kind of keeping our fingers crossed there, as hoping that works out.
Yeah. You talked earlier about the mufflers. What do you think about the mufflers?
Oh yeah, the mufflers. Okay, thinking about maybe hanging the mufflers like underneath in here,
Huh.
and then either the exhaust pipes come out and dump out in front of the tires, or maybe
Dump down?
come down and go underneath all that. I don't know yet. We just have to see which way that would be easiest to make all that stuff. That'd definitely be a muffler shop. They have all the facilities to bend the pipe and you know, whatever they come up with on that. And then as far as, you know, we putting the mufflers right like in here, make brackets off of here to hold the mufflers. And then the pipes come down, come out, bend around, and something like that. I have no idea. That's going to be with whatever those.
Yeah,
guys.
we'll have to worry about the master cylinder being.
Yeah, the master cylinder. She's going to have to go right in here. Well, actually, let me see. Oh. Yeah, we talked about this, I think, once before, but now that we got half of the ass idea, it's going to have to go something like that. Of course, this probably be in a little bit more.
So we'll have to
like that, because that steel, that the bar that comes out here will come out of here in an angle to that edge. So that'll give that enough room to fit in there. So the brake pedal is going to be pretty close to the front of the door, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Or we don't know yet. So we actually get the body. And the body is the real puzzler now.
Well, it kind of has been all along, right?
Yeah.
That's why we've researched and looked at, seems like 1,000 of Anglia pictures, trying to get an idea of what the dimensions are without actually a body.
Yeah, and how where things are mounted in some of those.
And I think I mentioned earlier in part one that we also visited Clayton Pool in Weatherford, Texas. Long-time drag racer with 3 Anglias, and we got a lot of dimensions off of, one of his cars, because one is the street machine and the other 2 are drag racers, so they really haven't got any measurements that are useful. So that's about it, I think. I'm going to call this segment to an end, and thank you for watching, and again, Happy New Year. Take care, everybody. Bye. January 8th, 2023. This is the next segment for the Lou Buitrago and Anglia Street Rod project. And there's our 2 dogs over there looking for more snacks and treats. So, the last time we left off, we were talking about the lower radiator hose, which has been now solved. There's the lower radiator hose installed. And as I pointed out previously, the flange on the end of the water pump had a hell of a bell on it that had to be ground down to even get the hose to go over it. But, you know, typical probably Chinese type manufacturing. Anyway, so the hose is taken care of. Now, we also had talked, and then we were cutting a template here, and we've now got a V shape cut out so we can fit down and get some better ideas. So anyway, that's about it. But the big news is we were looking about getting a transmission, and we dealt before with Phoenix, a well-known reputable company in Weatherford, Texas. And when Lou called them, the Turbo Hydro 350 was not in stock, and it would be 15 weeks before they expected to make one up.
Yes, I don't believe
So they must be.
It was unbelievable. It would take them 15 weeks.
No, they got to be doing a hell of a business on other transmissions to not have to step back and take an order for a Turbo 350. So anyway, we worked things around and we went researching, and we ended up once again at Summit, where Lou bought a B&M transmission from Summit that did not require a core charge, and B&M has been around since a long time, So hopefully it's all right. By the way, while we were researching that, discovered that B&M is now another one of many, many companies that Holly owns. They own just about anybody in the business, including the infamous rocket wheels that we couldn't. Yeah, she's got a good nose. She's looking for a treat. So, transmission is sitting there, and you want to talk about the sourcing an engine, Lou? What?
Yeah, I was checking for a motor, a crate motor, and there's all kinds of them online and everything, and the best deal that I could actually find is from Summit, and they have one that's supposed to be in on the 19th of this month, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and get that. It's a 350. It's got aluminum heads on it, and
So it's a long block.
Yeah, long block, and yeah, it's a pretty good. I think for the price, it's kind of high, but checking everything around, they're going for anywhere from 3,000 on up, and for about 4,000, I get to pick up this motor.
And it's a brand new block though, from
Yeah.
from a company called Blueprint.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a complete block, and it's actually it's got hydraulic roller cam in it, mild cam. Compression's about 9 1/4 to 1, so it can run on 87 octane, and it ought to be more than adequate for this particular project. And let's see, so that's about that. What else do I want to talk to? Oh, Anglia poplar body, the fiberglass body that we got coming, still expected within the next couple of weeks. We cannot find door hinge hardware. I've been researching this for months, and I just can't find anybody that has the stock type hinges. The doors, of course, are fiberglass, but they're made to take the stock hinges. So if anybody out there knows where we can get the door hinges and the trunk hinges,
Right.
Throw it in the comments and give us some help. We'd appreciate it. So let's see, Lou. I guess that's about it for now, huh?
This is kind of a half-assed template of what the floor might look like. I'm figuring that actually it will come out more here, because the body is going to be wider in this area. So this just kind of give an idea of what it might look like.
And you also talked about maybe bringing plates out from the bottom.
Yeah, bring a plate.
Bring a plate out from the bottom of the frame, so that the body will drop down and
When we get it, and then
press down the plane.
if we can actually set the fiberglass body down on the frame, I'll put some struts running across that'll help us kind of figure out what's going on.
And of course, that's speculative until we get the body. We'll about reach the point where we can't do very much, if anything else, until we do get the body. So with that, I've decided to make this part 2 conclude at this point and make it not as long as part 1. So I'm going to try to keep it to about 25-30 minutes. So I'll be wrapping this up and tying it on to the other stuff, and I'll be publishing part 2 maybe later today or tomorrow.
Right. And then if anybody has any idea where we might find some hinges or even door parts, any kind of parts for an Anglia, be well appreciated.
Yeah. And like I said, I've been looking at this for months, and I'm pretty good at hunting things down on the internet. It's been my life since I retired. And boy, I cannot find Anglia, popular model, the door hinges 49 to 52 anywhere. Of course, I did find a couple of doors in Ohio that may or may not have the hinges on them, but they're rotted at the bottom and they want $800, so that's not a go. Anyway, with that, I'm going to bring this to a conclusion, And thank you very much for watching. This will be the end of part 2.